In America, no day in sport is so widely filled with glory and with gloom as opening day in the NFL. For on this day, many grand illusions are shattered and impossible dreams begin. But for Don Shula, architect of the world's mightiest pro football team, it was just another opening of another show, featuring, at least for one more season, the star-studded cast of characters that is the Miami Dolphins. And if Mercury Morris would miss opening action hobbled by a sore knee, there would still be Jim Kick to stand in and get the job done right. And if Nick Buonaconti was off his game because of a painful thigh injury, the Dolphins, with their great overlap of talent, would compensate, for even the backup players on this team were household names. And though some of Shula's winners had chosen huge money over Dolphin esprit, opting to defect to the World Football League in 1975, in 1974, the mighty Miami Dolphins, the league's greatest champions, would give it one more go together. And if New England was the first opponent, that was their problem. But the Patriots head coach, Chuck Fairbanks, felt the spirit of opening day in the NFL, and he wanted splendidly to trade the Dolphins a grand illusion for an old impossible dream. Hardly a plausible game plan, but need we say more? Then this is the NFL game of the week, the Miami Dolphins versus New England Patriots. On the very first play of the game, the Patriots showed they were thinking big as Jim Plunkett reached far downfield and hit Randy Vataha with a 27-yard strike. 2 plays later, facing 3rd and 1, Plunkett eschewed the obvious, rolled right, and hit Reggie Rucker for a 10-yard gain to the Miami 29. A repeat of the play in slow motion shows Plunkett's fine touch as he lofts the ball over Dick Anderson softly into the hands of Reggie Rucker. Quick turn in to tight end Bob Windsor earned New England another first on 3rd down. Another look at the action indicates just how fiercely the battle was to rage all afternoon. Plunkett that turned to his ground attack, giving his mates the chance to show that they can dish it out as well as take it. And on 1st down from just inside the 15, Mac Herron knifed all the way to Sixville, leaving Dolphins wounded and oozing in his wake. This first brilliant dash of the day for Herron continued the further embarrassment of the computer, which once read number 42 out of the league by measuring his length and not his heart, and which forced Herron into a brief career as a haberdasher's assistant. A repeat shows why Coach Fairbanks reclaimed him from the clothing business, saying, "You've got to read the man, not the measurements. Mac Herron isn't little. He's just short." Having scored on their first possession, the Patriots now braced for the onslaught they knew was coming, braced for the first test of their new defense, featuring 3 down men and 4 linebackers, a defense familiar to Miami and known as the 53. But for the Dolphins, it was a specialty defense. For New England, it would have to be bread and butter. And for most of the first quarter, it stopped Miami's powerful running game. But ironically, when Miami was forced to the air, the Dolphins began to find success, using the weapon that the 53 was designed specifically to stop, the pass. Using medium-range aerials, first to Mandich for 10, then to Warfield for 20, Greasy drove the Dolphins to the Patriots' 19. A 7-yard out to Jim Kick brought the Dolphins inside the 10. And then Greasy returned to his better battering ram, Larry Zonka. And in slow motion, we see Zonka at his best where the going is the toughest. Another assault carried Zonka just shy of the goal. A repeat shows just how shy. And finally, on the first play of the second period, Zonka banged over to tie the game. A repeat of the touchdown shows blocks by left tackle Doug Crusan and tight end Jim Mandich open the door for Mr. Crash Larry Zonka. On the ensuing kickoff, Mac Heron fell one step short of racing for distance when Ed Newman brought him down with a shoelace tackle. But while the big play failed, consistency flourished for the well-drilled Patriots as Jim Plunkett turned to a precision short passing game. Hitting receivers Rucker and Heron again, then Rucker, New England moved 64 yards in 10 plays for the go-ahead score. And in contrast with New England teams of the recent past, which sometimes lived but more often died on the big play, the Patriots now were chewing off little pieces of the world champions' defense with a polished attack. Jim Plunkett and Reggie Rucker coupled on a beautiful 13-yard touchdown pass to complete the drive, executing with remarkable poise. The young Patriots forged back into the lead 14-7, and on the ensuing kickoff, the Miami Dolphins committed a most uncharacteristic error, perhaps indicating they were feeling the pressure exerted by the surprisingly disciplined New England Patriots. John White booted the ball to Charlie Lee at the Miami 5. Lee picked his way a bit hesitantly to the 30, where a hit from Will Foster loosed the football. Steve Schubert recovered and stumbled headlong to the Miami 6. With their backs to the wall, like champions, the Dolphins refused to yield more, but a field goal by John White increased the Patriots' lead to 17-7. On the next series, a crack showed clearly on Miami's monumentally cool facade. Number 71, Ray Hamilton, broke free for the first of 5 sacks by the Patriots on a day when Jim Plunkett would not hit the turf in anger, and Miami was forced to return the ball to New England. A long strike to Darryl Stingley put the ball back in Dolphin territory. From there, leading by 10, the Patriots turned to their running game, first using number 39, Sam Bam Cunningham. Balancing Cunningham's slam-bam tactics, Mac Heron turned to his elusive style for a big gain. A repeat of Heron's 28-yarder shows the extraordinary balance and desire which are the necessary tools of all outstanding runners. Having penetrated the Dolphins' 5-yard line, a great defensive play by Dick Anderson kept New England off the scoreboard when John White missed a chip shot field goal. On the next series, facing 3rd and 2 at the 28, Greasy leveled a pass right into the hands of Sam Hunt, and Hunt returned to the Miami 8. A repeat shows that Hunt is the only man who could have caught the ball as he dropped back deeply into perfect defensive position and made the most important defensive play of the game, the type of game-breaking play that impossible dreams are built on. One play later, Plunkett carried over himself on an Oklahoma-like keeper, and suddenly the New England Patriots held a shocking 24-7 advantage over the world champions as a result of an obviously well-coached marriage of offensive and defensive thinking. With less than 2 minutes remaining in the half, Greasy rallied Miami with 4 straight completions. A 20-yarder to Paul Warfield put the ball on New England's 16. There, the Patriots grew stubborn. The Dolphins had to settle for 3 points, and the surprising score, New England 24, Miami 10, was flashed across the country. At the start of the second half, New England was leading Miami by a highly unexpected 14 points, 24-10. Plunkett kept his team on the ground, as both Cunningham and Herron picked up some valuable, albeit hard-fought yardage. The 5'5" Herron wreaked havoc on Miami all day. They simply couldn't find him. They think I'm down, but I'm really up, says Mack. On a brilliant 1st and 10 call, Plunkett showed his growing confidence by dropping back and with the same immaculate protection he got in the first half, threw the football. Randy Vataha's diving fingertip catch was good for 23 yards to the Miami 35. Two plays later, Plunkett threw a quick out to the Rabbit, who lived up to his nickname by hopping around several defenders in search of a first down. From the 13, the call went to Cunningham, who got up ahead of steam and wouldn't be denied. The Patriots, in a beautifully sustained drive, had gone 71 yards in 11 plays. A repeat shows what Cunningham looks like to his opponents. The famous slam bam style that made him a legend at Southern Cal brought him into the end zone and gave the New England team a huge 21-point lead over the Miami Dolphins. And every one of the over 54,000 people at Schaefer Stadium went wild as they realized that New England's first half domination of the Super Bowl champions was indeed no fluke. New England 31, Miami 10. Miami's speedy rookie find, Nat Moore, gave his team good field position on the following kickoff, and Bob Greasy, who had passed well in the first half, immediately took to the air lanes again. Throwing under pressure, Greasy lofted a long pass to Paul Warfield at the left sideline. His fine catch completed a 39-yard play, but Warfield had had his man badly beat, and a more accurate pass would have kept him inbounds for a certain score. Thus, New England's pass rush continued to play a vital role in this surprising football game. The ground defense had been even better, as Larry Zonka will attest on this play by Julius Adams. Miami ran for merely 23 yards in the first half. Unable to go by ground, Greasy again went to the pass and his favorite weapon, a strike to Paul Warfield over the middle. A look at this play in super slow motion shows the beauty of the lithe, lean Warfield, undoubtedly one of the finest pass receivers the game of football has ever known. Now, from the 13, Greasy, going with his hot hand, had good protection and speared Marlon Briscoe in the end zone for the touchdown. Another look at the pass from the end zone shows the diminutive Briscoe simply got good body position on rookie Willie Osley, and Miami was back in the game, trailing by 2 touchdowns, 31-17. At the start of the final quarter, New England began a drive spearheaded by the passing of Plunkett that threatened to end all hopes for the Dolphins. Using his receivers to maximum advantage, the Patriots' young quarterback brought his team deep in Dolphin territory. Then he sent Reggie Rucker streaking for the corner of the end zone, but Jake Scott's great play saved the touchdown and gave Miami new hope. Here, the Dolphins began a drive that would consume much of the fourth quarter. a drive that would see Marlin Briscoe play a vital and unique role. Greasy's pass at the 40 went right through his hands, but Greasy came right back with the same play, and Marlin redeemed himself. Next came a quick out to the magician, who was met hard by his defender, Osley. Now in New England's territory, Briscoe got the call a fourth straight time and again dropped the ball. So Greasy turned to the other side and hit Warfield at the sideline. Miami was moving after the impetus of Scott's interception, and here came up with another big play, again involving the multifaceted Marlin Briscoe. But the flanker pass was well covered by the alert New England secondary. So on the very next play, Greasy employed Briscoe again, and his clutch catch resulted in 20 yards and another Miami first down. Briscoe was single-handedly giving the Patriots secondary fits. 2 plays later, it was Briscoe beating rookie Osley for the 9th time today, and the Dolphins were on the brink of a touchdown. Larry Zonka got the 6 points through a trail of red shirts. Miami now needed only a single touchdown to tie. New England's great effort today was now in doubt. An end zone view of Zonka amply demonstrates his well-documented strength and power. Here, with still over 4 minutes remaining, came one of the game's crucial plays. Miami uncharacteristically gambled at this point, and the Pats covered Epremian's onside kick. New England not only had the ball, they had excellent position. And though they didn't score on this series due to a frenzied effort by the dormant Dolphin defense, the Miami kick greatly helped them. For on the next Dolphin offensive series, Greasy's protection was completely devastated by the rampaging Patriot defense. All day, it had been led by Julius Adams and number 71, Ray Hamilton. Sugar Bear Hamilton, in his second year, played for Chuck Fairbanks at Oklahoma and had a remarkable preseason in which his extreme quickness played a big part. He seems to relish his vital role as the middleman in Fairbanks' 3-man front. After being sacked by Hamilton for a loss of 10, Greasy, near his end zone, was chased by number 85, Adams, and did a great job of scrambling to escape another sack. Red shirts blanketed all his receivers, however. So it came down to one play, 4th and 20, an unusual predicament for Miami's offense. Greasy dumped the ball to Jim Mandich on a tight end screen, and Mandich could only get 7 of the 20 needed yards as the New England defense covered the play well. A repeat of this game-clinching play shows the futility for Mandich and Miami as New England let him have the early yards and lay back protecting the long gain. Everyone in Schaefer Stadium knew it was over. New England's hopped-up, underrated defense exited the field triumphant. They had kept the Dolphins from their vaunted ball control offense and had penetrated their front line for 4 sacks and numerous hurried passes. The offense, as the recipient of fine field position from their defensive counterparts, cashed in with one last score that salted the victory, a 26-yard field goal from ex-British soccer star John Smith. Patriots 34, Dolphins 24. With 46 seconds to get over 10 points, Miami tried the ubiquitous Briscoe on a flanker reverse for 17 yards. Ray Hamilton made another of his many tackles. The game ended appropriately enough with Greasy being ignominiously brought to the ground by the newly proud Patriot defense. It has 7 new regulars. It was finally all over. Chuck Fairbanks and his upstart New England squad had begun the new NFL season with one of the most startling upsets in some time. They accomplished it with a surprisingly resolute defense and an offense led by Jim Plunkett and Mac Herron that converted 10 of 16 third downs. They had nearly 400 yards against the no-name defense. It was a bitter loss for Don Shula, for the Super Bowl champions had been beaten only twice in the past 2 years. He had seen his great offense held to just 89 yards running. That forced him to go to the air an unusually high 30 times. 4 occasions, Greasy never got the ball off at all. So the surprising New England Patriots convinced a lot of people today that their 4 preseason wins cannot be taken lightly. Unfortunately, the Patriots' obvious improvement may not show up in their record this year, for they have perhaps the toughest schedule in the entire league. But then again, who could be any tougher than the Miami Dolphins?